Former President Donald Trump is expected to surrender today over charges of alleged efforts to overturn Georgia's 2020 presidential election. It comes after at least 9 of his co-defendants have already surrendered.
Joining us now for more analysis is Cal State Long Beach political science associate professor Jason Whitehead. Jason, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it. We now have the former president facing charges in D.C., Florida, New York, now Georgia. You know, when you look at it, and we have this, debate last night, but you look at his poll numbers, he's only gone up in the polls. What's with that?
Yeah, I think there's this very strange phenomenon with the Trump campaign, and Trump, to some extent, has always had this associated with him. But the effect is even bigger now, where it doesn't really matter which way these prosecutions go, right? If he does get indicted again, as he is this week for the 4th time, his poll numbers go up again, right? If he goes to court and gets exonerated, or these charges get dropped, right, he's going to be seen as a victim. It's going to confirm his witch hunt theory about the prosecutions. So there's a segment of the population that simply will not move off their support for Trump, and in fact is increasing it as a result of these indictments.
Yeah, we see that continue to increase. Let's talk about Trump and his allies who say they are protected by freedom of speech. Do you think that defense is going to hold up in court?
I don't think so. Every American, of course, is entitled to speak freely on the topics that interest them. They're entitled to speak about politics. They're even entitled to claim that an election was rigged and stolen. They're even entitled to advance false information about that in private conversations. What a person is not allowed to do under the First Amendment is commit a crime. Right? And so some speech is necessary in order to commit certain kinds of crimes. Think about solicitation to a crime. If you're asking somebody else to commit a crime, that's a crime, which is what Trump has been accused of in several of the counts of this indictment. It involves his speech, but it involves so much more. It involves cooperating with other people in knowingly breaking the law and knowingly submitting these false statements. And that's a crime. And that's not protected by the First Amendment.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. This is also now a RICO case. We saw the former president changed attorneys now to have someone who has criticized these RICO cases before. One of the criticisms is, you cast this wide net with all these people, and then the backstabbing starts happening. How do you think this does end up playing out? You have so many people now involved.
Right. I think this is a strategy that prosecutors often use. Especially when you've got a number of people involved in a wide-ranging criminal conspiracy. The idea is you charge as many as you can, and you try to force some of the lower-level targets to flip on the higher-level targets. It's classic prosecution strategy. Whether or not that will work in this case, I think actually, it has worked already behind the scenes. There are a number of unindicted co-conspirators. And, the speculation is that obviously the prosecution's got to get this information that they got about them from somewhere, and they probably got them from their cooperation, probably got that information as a result of that cooperation. So that's something that can happen in RICO cases. I think the problem in this case is that you're dealing with people like Giuliani and Eastman and others who really advance some of the most far-flung and really crazy conspiracy theories that were advanced. Sidney Powell is another one. They're not going to be amenable to rational deliberation, the sorts of deliberations that ordinary criminal defendants would undergo and flip on their boss. Now, I could be proven wrong about that, but that's one of the advantages of a RICO suit, is if you're really going after that guy at the top, you've got a lot of people underneath in that conspiracy to try to flip.
All right. Well, step one, we'll see what happens today. Jason Whitehead, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.